is good. Burlington Edison Tigers 22, Mount Vernon Bulldogs 12. 20 seconds remaining in the first period. Second and free throws is good for Reisner. Checking in for the Tigers is number 44, Jaden Wolf. Third free throw for Reisner is up and good. I do not believe that Jackson Reisner has missed thus far this game. Fantastic way to start things off for the junior forward. Checking in for Reisner is number 14, Connor Nelson. Coming back the other way, Isaiah Brown up with the shot. Heavily guarded by Connor Nelson. Off the mark, rebound goes to number 44, Jaden Wolf. Wolf goes to Nelson, 3 seconds left on the clock. Larson for three at the buzzer. Just off the mark. At the end of the first period, Mount Vernon Bulldogs 12, Burlington Edison Tigers 24. Team fouls for both teams. Mount Vernon Bulldogs currently have 2 team fouls. Burlington Edison Tigers have 3 fouls. Heavily contested night at the Battle of the Bridge here at the Doghouse in Mount Vernon, Washington. Thank you very much for everyone joining us via YouTube. It's a pleasure to be here. Currently having the Bulldog Band, who is phenomenal, doing a fantastic job along with the lady cheerleaders here at the Mount Vernon High School. We appreciate all of you for being here tonight. As both teams regroup after the first quarter, fantastic play on both sides. Burlington Edison Tigers 24, Mount Vernon Bulldogs 12. Moving into the second period, we'll be interested to see how Coach Valentine makes adjustments. I must say, number 22 for the Burlington Edison Tigers, Jackson Reisner, really putting on a show thus far. First quarter, do not have the official statistics for him. I don't believe he missed a shot, to include 3 free throws on a fouled 3-point attempt. As we come back into the second period, Burlington Edison basketball on the far court. Number 10, DJ Clark, throwing the ball into Eric Aldenhofen as we join with us back in the second period of play. Ball goes up to Reisner on top of the key. Connor Nelson receives the ball at top of the key, moving to the far court. Back over to Connor Nelson, top of the key, looking for Tyno Ferdinand. Oh, turnover! Fantastic heads-up play by Chapin with the reverse, little lay-in, nicely done. 2 points. Ball comes back up the floor. Connor Nelson looking on near court. Passes the ball to Reisner. Reisner to Ferdinand. Ferdinand far court. Going baseline dribble. Up. Fantastic defense by Kane Kress. Scotty Forbes going the other direction. Pulls it up. 5 feet behind the 3-point line. Just short. Gets his own rebound. Ball fake. Up with another 3-pointer. Off the mark. Chapin. Hustle play. Bats the ball over to Chase Calvin. Back over to Forbes. Ball fake. Gets him to jump. Just off the mark. 2 shots for Scotty Forbes. Burlington Edison Tiger DJ Clark assessed with the blocking foul. 2 shots, Scotty Forbes. First shot is up and in. Back in for the Tigers, number 34, Brian McGovern, in for Connor Nelson. Second shot for Scotty Forbes, and the Bulldogs up and in. Ball gets brought back up the floor by Brian McGovern. Looks near court. To Aldenhofen, back top side to Reisner. Reisner takes the ball far court. Pass the ball back to McGovern, baseline drive. Chase Calvin with the assist and the block. Ball's going to go to Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Ball gets inbounded to Chapin. Chapin back to Isaiah Brown. Isaiah Brown far court. Near court dribble over to Scotty Forbes. Baseline. Good defense. Comes back in the middle. Kane Kress slips it around the corner. Chase Calvin in the middle of the key. Ball called dead. 3 seconds in the key. Turnover, Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Ball back into play. McGovern passes the ball to Altenhofen. Altenhofen near court. Receives the ball back up. Top of the key. Over to Ferdinand. Back top side. Far court to Reisner. Reisner to Clark. Far court over to Altenhofen. Back to Clark. McGovern gets the ball, guarded by Chapin. Comes near court. Ferdinand slices into the middle. Ball fake up and in. Tino Ferdinand having a good game today. Ball back the other direction. Isaiah Brown behind the back dribble. Crossover into the lane. Guarded by 3. Foul on the shot. Foul on the play, DJ Clark. That is his second personal foul. 15th foul for the visiting Burlington Tigers. First half of the free throw, up and in by Isaiah Brown. Second shot by Isaiah Brown, up and in. Back the other way by the Burlington Edison Tigers. Brian McGovern brings the ball up the floor, guarded by Chapin. Chapin, tough defense, reaching foul called. Number 35, Ethan Chapin. Chapin is a sophomore on the heavy defense there, called for the personal foul. Looks like the Bulldogs are in a 1-3-1 zone, pushing the ball up the floor. McGovern goes through the middle, kicks the ball weak side, off the mark. Ferdinand with the rebound, up and off the mark. Colby Calvin with the rebound, pushes the ball outlet to Ethan Brown. Brown to Chapin for 3. It is good! 21-26. Mount Vernon Bulldogs making a push here in the second quarter. Back down we go. Foul on the backside by Scotty Forbes. Tiger basketball baseline. They're going to be given back to the Tigers. Wyatt Walker and Michael Larson back in the game. Ball's brought in bounds by Weisner. Top of the key to Ferdinand. Pressured by Chapin. Quick foul. Once again, number 35, Ethan Chapin, assessed with his second personal foul. 5th team foul for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Van Struzma checking back into the game for Ethan Chapin. Ball's going to be brought back in bounds by Wyatt Walker. Throws the ball to Reisner on... Dribbles the ball near court, hands it over to Larson. Larson throws top to McGovern. Bulldogs are back in that zone. Larson, far side, off the mark. Big board by Ferdinand, and the putback. Isaiah Brown brings the ball back down for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Pushing the floor, brings it near court to Scotty Forbes. Scotty Forbes looking for help, gives the screen from Van Struzma. Up to the middle of the floor, foul on the shot. 2 shots. Tiger foul will be on Tino Ferdinand, his first foul of the game. 16th foul for the Burlington Edison Tigers. First of the free throws for Van Struzma, off the mark. Struzma up on the second shot. It is good. Ball comes back into play. Michael Larson pushes the ball up to Jackson Reisner. Scotty Forbes with the kickball. Going to be back out of bounds. Back to the Burlington Edison Tigers. Jackson Reisner inbounds the ball to Michael Larson. Larson goes far court to Ferdinand. Back to Reisner, top of the key. Wyatt Walker gets the ball on the far court. Single dribble. Tip by Forbes. Other direction, Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Pushing the ball up the floor. Stop down low. Flips the ball back over to Struzma. Struzma back in the corner to Forbes. Guarded heavily by Reisner. Van Struzma gets the first step. Spins. And it's in for 2. 24 Mount Vernon Bulldogs to 28 Burlington Tigers. And the miscommunication by the Tigers. Turnover. Timeout by the Burlington Edison Tigers. Just waiting to see if it's going to be a full timeout or a 30-second timeout. Second timeout for the Burlington Edison Tigers. We have 4 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the second period of play here at the Doghouse at Mount Vernon, Washington Gymnasium. Burlington Tigers head coach sitting the Burlington Tigers down, having a conversation. Their lead has dwindled down to 4 points here in the second quarter of play. Mount Vernon Bulldogs 24, Burlington Tigers 28 here at the Battle of the Bridge. Welcome to all of you who are new and have just come on board to Mount Vernon High School YouTube channel. Welcome. We have a fantastic game thus far. Currently in the second quarter, we're looking at 6 team fouls for the visiting Burlington Edison Tigers and 24 points for the home Bulldogs, 28 for the visiting Tigers, with 5 team fouls for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. As we come back into play, it's going to be Bulldog basketball near court. Just had a turnover by the Burlington Edison Tigers. Back to the Bulldogs. Struzma inbounds to Brown. Brown with the side-to-side dribble, pushing the ball up to the top of the ball. Goes far side, looking for a screen from Chase Calvin. Coming near court here, back to Brown. Press cutting through the middle. Got a little side-to-side post action with the screen, coming near court. Side to side between the legs. Dish to the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Far court. Fade away by number 10. Off the mark. Rebound back to the Burlington Edison Tigers. McGovern with the board. Hands it over to Reisner. Reisner goes into the middle with the pass out to Wyatt. Off the mark. Rebound back to the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Gets it right back to Brown, who pushes the ball forward to Liam Johnston. Johnston goes to Struzma down low. The spin up and in for Van Struzma. Backing him down into the paint. The big man move. Nicely done. Ball gets pushed back up the opposite direction. Over to Struzma. Struzma to McGovern. McGovern back to Reisner. Wide open three. It is good. Bulldogs cannot leave that man wide open. Back to the Bulldogs. Isaiah Brown pushing the ball up the floor, looking for an open man. Calls the play once. Struzma hits him up with the screen. Stays near side for the post up. Goes weak side, looking for Calvin down low. Calvin against Ferdinand down low. Off the backboard, just off the mark. Rebound goes to Michael Larson. Pushes the ball up himself. Goes far court to McGovern. McGovern down low to Ferdinand. Spin. And foul on the shot. Tyno Ferdinand, the 6'5" senior for the Tigers, going to be at the line for 2. First shot up for Ferdinand. It is good. Burlington Edison Tigers 31, Mount Vernon Bulldogs 26. Second shot, up and off the mark. Calvin with the rebound. Pushes the ball immediately back to the Bulldogs with the left-handed lay-in. Off the mark, Calvin back in there for the rebound. Hustle play by Calvin, unlucky. Chase Calvin working hard on the rebounds. Ball's going to be to Burlington Edison Tigers. Ball gets brought into Logan Wright, who checks back into the game. Push the ball to McGovern, far court, back to the top of the key. Moves it this side to Jackson Reisner, who's had a phenomenal game thus far. Looking for Wyatt at the free throw line. Catches the ball strong. Colby Calvin with the defense, just off the mark. Rebound Calvin. Pushes the ball up. Isaiah Brown with the crossover. Turnover, pushing the ball the other direction. Burlington Tigers. Foul on the ground. Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Going to be baseline for the Burlington Edison Tigers. 1 minute, 40 seconds remaining in the second period of play. 26 to the Mount Vernon Bulldogs, 31 Burlington Edison Tigers. Because it is the 7th team foul for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs, it is the 7th team foul. That is a 1-and-1 shot. Scotty Forbes checks back into the game for number 21, Chase Calvin. 1-and-1 on the play for Logan Wright. Off the mark, Forbes with the rebound, turns and runs. Pushes the ball up over the half court, looking for help. Isaiah popping out, calling for it. Backdoor cut, crossover down in the key, up, off the mark. Rebound, Wyatt pushes the ball up to McGovern. McGovern looking for the crossover. Heads up play, ball's loose. Mount Vernon Bulldog basketball. Liam Johnston gets the tip on the ball that leads to the turnover. Ball gets inbounded to Isaiah Brown. slows the game. Walks the ball up half court. Looking for the backdoor cut. Ball comes to Forbes, top of the key. Comes near court, looking for Struzma down low. Back over to the top of the key. Ball fake. Looking low for Struzma. Mid post. Turns up on Wyatt Walker and Van Struzma for two. Backing it down with the spin. Van Struzma. Back to the other end of the floor. Tigers throw the ball. Larson, wide open three. Just off the mark. Struzma and Reisner fighting for the ball. And it goes to Clark for the rebound, who is fouled. My apologies. The Tigers are actually going to have Logan Wright shooting two. First shot up and in.
21,
Chase Calvin checking back in for the Bulldogs for Scotty Forbes. Second free throw for the Tigers is going to be up and in. Burlington Edison Tigers 33, Mount Vernon Bulldogs 28. Isaiah Brown pushes the ball up against Logan Wright. Side-to-side dribble, looking for the play to evolve. Hesitation dribble, goes up and off the mark. Two shots for Isaiah Brown. Burlington Edison Tigers have done a good job on Isaiah Brown. At times have brought 2 and 3 defenders on him. Shooting two. First is up and in. Mount Vernon Bulldogs 29, Burlington Edison Tigers 33. 41.2 seconds remaining in the second period of play. Second shot is up and in. 32, Tigers 33. Ball comes back up the floor. Logan Wright pushing the ball. Comes near court to Wyatt Walker. Top of the key, back to McGovern. Gives it back to Wyatt Walker. Down the side, guarded by Calvin. Up and in for Wyatt Walker. Isaiah Brown moving the ball up past half court. Comes to the near court. Hippity hop dribble, pass the ball. Intercepted by Logan Wright. Pushes the ball to McGovern. Up and in for two. 10 seconds left in the second period of play. Looking up the floor, Isaiah Brown. 5 seconds. Three-pointer. Just short. Chase Calvin with the board. Just off the mark. That is the end of the second period of play. Mount Vernon Bulldogs 30, Burlington Edison Tigers 37. We are going to pause for station identification here at the Mount Vernon High School Doghouse. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the Bulldog High School Gymnasium for tonight's contest featuring the visiting Burlington Edison Tigers and our own Mount Vernon High School Bulldogs here at the Doghouse tonight. Currently the score, Burlington Edison High School 37 to Mount Vernon Bulldogs 30. We're about to kick off the second half of the game of tonight's contest. Both teams are 1-0, having started off their seasons with 1-0 victories. Mount Vernon High School defeated the Cedar Woolley Cubs over in Cedar Woolley, and the Burlington Edison Tigers defeated the Mavericks down south. We're about to start this second half of play. Items of note thus far for the Burlington Edison Tigers. Jackson Reisner having a fantastic game. Interesting to hear what the final totals are for him. A lot of points in the first half. Interesting to see if the Bulldogs will be able to slow him down in the second half. Also of note, the Bulldogs' leading scorer, Isaiah Brown, has been slowed down. I do not expect that to continue here in the second half as the Bulldogs take the floor. Starting the second half for the Bulldogs, we'll have Isaiah Brown at the guard spot. Van Struzma at the forward. Chase Calvin, the big man in the center. Scotty Forbes out on the side. And Ethan Chapin as well, taking the floor, starting the second half. Number 20, Logan Wright. Number 22, Jackson Reisner. 34, Mr. McGovern. Down low, they're going to have the two big men, Wyatt and Tyno Ferdinand. Ball comes inbounds to the Bulldogs, side to side near court for Isaiah Brown. Kicks the ball. Far court to Scotty Forbes, brings it back top of the key. Back to the Bulldogs down low. Kicks it back top side to Scotty Forbes, comes into the left side of the key, up and off the mark. Rebound goes to Logan Wright for the Burlington Tigers. Come this way to Reisner near court for three! 40 Burlington Edison Tiger points to 30 Mount Vernon Bulldogs points. Coming back to the direction, slowing things down, looking to Coach Valentine. Isaiah Brown with the dribble, pushes the ball fore court to Scotty Forbes, looking low for Chase Calvin. Ball comes near court, attempts to pass the ball with the kick. Heads up play, Jackson Reisner. Bulldog basketball. Ethan Chapin's going to take the ball near court. Out of bounds, goes over to Isaiah Brown, top of the key. Guarded by number 20, Logan Wright. Comes near court, back to Chapin. Chapin looks for the screen coming inside from Calvin. Switch the screen. Ball goes far court, back over to Brown. Up for the three-pointer. It is good! Like I said, folks, you cannot keep that kid down for long. For three, Isaiah Brown. Ball coming right back the other direction. Logan Wright comes near court to Reisner. Reisner to McGovern. McGovern. Kick pass over to Wyatt Walker. One dribble baseline pass off the mark. Rebound Van Struzma. Kicks the ball to the floor. Intercepted Logan Wright. Pushing the ball against Chase Calvin. Up and in with the finish over the big man. Right back the other direction. Bulldogs looking up the floor. Mount Vernon Bulldogs 33. Burlington Tigers 42. Isaiah Brown side-to-side dribble, passes far court to Scotty Forbes, heavily guarded by McGovern, back over, knocks him to the ground, up for the two, off the mark, hustle play Van Struzma. Bulldog basketball. Isaiah Brown gets handed the ball, looking for an open player, threads the ball over to Colby Calvin, off his fingertips, out of bounds, turnover Mount Vernon Bulldogs, back to the Tigers. Ball comes back in bounds to the Tigers. Bring the ball near court to Reisner. Reisner looks up to the top. Wyatt Walker, top of the three-point line. Turn, Tyno wide open. Hits the two-point bucket. He is deadly from the elbow. Bulldogs have to get a hand up. Coming near side to Forbes. Back the other direction. Hits Calvin down low. Straight up defense by Ferdinand. Colby Calvin for two. Backs him down and scores. Right back the other direction come the Tigers. Top of the court. Reisner. Looks for McGovern. McGovern uses the screen. Once again to Wyatt Walker for three. Right back at the Bulldogs. Timeout. Bulldogs. Full timeout called by Roger Valentine. Folks at home, we're in the third quarter of tonight's contest between the Burlington Edison Tigers, the visitors from across the bridge here at the Doghouse, Mount Vernon Bulldog High School Gymnasium. Full timeout called by Roger Valentine. As the Bulldogs were about within 3 or 4 points, the Tigers on consecutive possessions have scored and pushed the lead to 12 points with 5 minutes 30 seconds remaining here in the third period. As the Bulldog cheerleaders and the Bulldog Band perform, we're grateful to have them here today. Fantastic atmosphere for high school basketball tonight, this Thursday evening. We also have the visiting Burlington Edison Tigers performing as well as the first buzzer sounds, bringing the ball back into live play. Welcome to all you at home. Mount Vernon High School Gymnasium here at the Doghouse. Ball's going to be inbounds by the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Scotty Forbes throwing the ball into Isaiah Brown. Meeting him at half court. Logan Wright picking him up with the cross court. Back-to-back, picks up the dribble. Heavily contested. Goes down to the near side. Chapin guarded by Reisner. Baseline dribble. Picks up the ball in the corner. Top of the key to Calvin. Calvin hands it back to Chapin. Crossover dribble. Switch on the Burlington Edison Tigers. And Isaiah Brown from way downtown, up over the backboard. Turnover for the Bulldogs. Ball's right back into the Tigers, slowing the pace of the game. 5 minutes remaining in this contest. Burlington Edison Tigers currently in the lead, 47 to Mount Vernon Bulldogs 35. Ferdinand cross-court pass near court. The shot is up, off the mark. Wyatt on the backside, tips it out of bounds over Van Struesma. Mount Vernon Bulldogs basketball. Substitution for the Bulldogs coming into the game. Number 13, Kane Kress. And number 10, Liam Johnston. Subbed out of the game, Scotty Forbes and Isaiah Brown giving them a break. Kress going to bring the ball up with the right hand, passes it down to the corner, down to Colby Calvin. Looks in for Struesma, who's had some success down low with the left hand, up and just off the mark. Foul's going to be called on number 21. Colby Calvin going after that hard board. First personal foul assessed. On the Bulldogs, and the first team foul. Bring the ball back up the court. Near court. Goes over to Wyatt Walker. Back to the top of the key to number 20. Goes entry pass into number 12. Body foul. Unfortunate for the Bulldogs. That's going to be 2 shots for number 12, Eric Altenhofen. Second personal foul on Van Struesma. Second team foul here in the third quarter. 4 minutes, 21 seconds to play. Altenhofen at the line for 2. First is up and in. Second shot for Altenhofen. In. Ball being brought in bounds from Van Struesma. Passes the ball to Kane Kress. Point guard currently in as Isaiah Brown gets a break on the sideline. Got a young crew in there. We got the free throw attempt just off the mark by number 10. Liam Johnston pushed up the floor by Reisner. Up and off the mark. Wyatt Walker with the board. Still going at it. Offensive foul on the rebound. Called on the Tigers. Number 30, Wyatt Walker. Burlington fans are not happy about that call. Ball gets brought in bounds to number 13, Kane Kress. Heavily guarded by the Burlington. Behind the back dribble, come all the way into the middle. Baseline pass to Colby Calvin. Just off the mark. Ferdinand with the board. Outlet pass to Altenhofen. Altenhofen down to the corner. Gets down to Logan Wright. Just off the mark. Altenhofen with the big board coming in there. Back out to Reisner. Top of the key. Slams into Chapin. Correction. Van Struesma taking the charge. Going the other direction. Big time stop by Van Struesma. Taking the charge. Sacrificing the body. That is only the first foul on Jackson Reisner for the Burlington Edison Tigers as they bring the ball into Kress. Kress looks with the full court man-to-man pressure, using the screen off of Van Struesma. Double teamed and Ferdinand with the block. Ball goes right back into the Bulldogs. Hands the ball off. We got a 5-second count coming here. 3 seconds into the play. Still looking for the open player. Van Struisma with the release pass. Backs his guy down into the lane. Streisner on the defense. Second personal foul on Streisner. Fantastic job by Van Struisma, backing Streisner into the key and having him pick up his second personal foul in a row here in the second half of play here at the Bulldog Gymnasium. Struisma at the line for 2. First free throw up and in. Cutting the lead to 13 points. Mount Vernon Bulldogs 36. Burlington Edison Tigers 49 points. 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining here in the third quarter of play. Second shot up and in. Referee timeout. Substitution going to be coming in for the Burlington High School Tigers. Number 32, Michael Larson, back in the game for number 20, Logan Wright, who brought some energy off the bench. Jackson Reisner bringing the ball back up the floor, calling near court for Larson. Larson throws the ball topside to Eric Altenhofen, spins back and forth. Chapin at the top of the key garden there, back over to Larson on the far court. Great defense by the Bulldogs. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Comes this way to Ferdinand near court. Struisma all over Altenhofen. Back to Ferdinand. 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Tipped by Chris. Nicely done. 5 seconds remaining. Crossover dribble to Larson. Turnover goes to Struisma. Up he goes up the floor to Chapin. Chapin back to Struisma. Tigers down low. Gives it up to Struisma. Up and fouled on the shot. Third team foul on the Tigers. Struisma once again back to the free throw line. I really like what I'm seeing from Van Struisma, taking that ball in, drawing the double team, pump fake at the line for 2. First free throw up, just off the mark. Substitution for Burlington Edison, number 24, Tino Ferdinand, who's had a big game, gets a substitution. Currently for Wyatt Walker. Second shot for Struisma, looking to cut the lead to 11. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the third period. The shot goes up and in. Burlington brings the ball up. Eric Altenhofen with the dribble, goes far court to Jackson Reisner, who's been quiet thus far in the third period. Back over to Wyatt. Into the middle for Reisner, just off the mark. Gets his own rebound. And count the bucket. 3-point play on the way from Jackson Reisner, giving some energy to the Tigers. Jackson Reisner for the 3-point play, up and in. Extends the lead back to 14 points for the Tigers with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. Double team up top. Passes the ball down the corner. Larson on the defense goes into the middle for Calvin, just off the mark. Rebound pushing the ball the opposite direction come the Tigers. Looking for Reisner, top of the key, 5 feet outside the 3-point line, off the mark. Ball gets pushed by the Bulldogs. Loses the ball. Hustle play by Wyatt Walker. No, he is called for the foul. That's going to be the 15th foul on the Tigers. Second personal foul on Wyatt Walker with the hustle play. Down on the floor, knocked over the Bulldog offender. Taking a little time there to dry off the floor after the hustle play by Walker as the referees earning their money, wiping off the floor. Kane Kress going to be passing the ball in for the Bulldogs. We have 1 minute, 57 seconds remaining in the third period of play. Mount Vernon Bulldogs 38, visiting Tigers 52 with the 14-point lead. Time for the Bulldogs to get some momentum as Van Struisma goes in, working hard against Larson. With the hand check, up he goes. Traveling call on Struisma. Alternating possession here, goes back to the Tigers. Tigers picking up full court. Full court pressure here by the Bulldogs. Up it goes to Wyatt Walker with the between the legs dribble, passes the ball across, all the way over to Larson, comes near court to Jackson Reisner. Walker at the free throw line calling for the ball, goes back up to Eric Altenhofen. Heavily guarded by the Bulldogs, and it gets through. Bulldogs up we go, jump stop, and not enough. Traveling call on the Bulldogs. Unfortunate, has some momentum there. Great heads-up defensive play. 14-point Tiger lead, 1 minute 27 seconds remaining in this third period of action. Tigers inbound the ball, pushing the ball hard. Up comes Chapin. Reisner, 4-3. It is good, extending the lead to 17 points. Ball comes back into play. Kane Kress bringing the ball up the floor. Been a long time having multiple Bulldogs out of the game. We have Isaiah Brown, who's been out for a long time. See when we get him back in the game. Get some offensive pressure coming in here from the Bulldogs. Substitutions, on the other hand, for the Tigers. Number 12, Eric Altenhofen, getting subbed out for DJ Clark, who bring the ball up the floor against the Bulldog defense. Ball goes far court to Larson. Top of the key to McGovern. McGovern with the hesitation up to Walker at the free throw line at the elbow. McGovern wide open. Baseline, hesitation, and the finish. 42 seconds remaining in the third quarter as Struzma brings the ball up the floor. Crossover drive, taking it to Larson. Up and just off the mark. Rebound Walker. Walker to McGovern. McGovern up the floor to Clark. Clark comes corner to McGovern. Turn and up and in, extending the lead. 22 seconds remaining. That is a 21-point lead here in the third quarter. The Tigers have dominated the game as they push the ball up. Bulldogs have the ball. 12 seconds remaining. Calvin at the three-point line. 8 seconds remaining. Chapin for three. Off the mark. Rebound Tigers. 3, 2. And that is the end of the third period of play. Burlington Edison 59, Mount Vernon Bulldogs 38. Bulldogs started the third quarter with a lot of momentum, bringing the game back within reach, at times as close as 3 or 4 points. And at the end of that third period, Burlington extended the lead with hustle plays, turnovers on the Bulldog side, and a lot of buckets in a row. Definitely a momentum shift. We'll see what the Bulldogs come with. 21-point deficit here going into the fourth quarter of play. We'll see what changes Coach Valentine brings here coming into this fourth period of play. The Tigers up by 21 here at the Doghouse. As they come back onto the court, the Tigers bringing back in their original starting five, it appears. Going to bring the point guard, DJ Clark, forward. Jackson Reisner. Wyatt Walker also at the forward. Michael Larson and Brian McGovern. For the Bulldogs, here starting in the fourth quarter, bringing back what appears to be the same lineup that just ended. Van Struzma, Colby Calvin, Liam Johnston, Kane Kress. And as we go, Wyatt Walker comes near court to McGovern baseline. We just saw that. And unfortunate body foul on the ground. Ball comes inbounds. Over to Jackson Reiser. Turnaround jumper. It is good. Extending the lead to 23 points. Ball comes back in bounds. Kane Kress assesses the situation. Dribbles near court. Pulls up the dribble. Back out to number 10, Liam Johnston. Johnston dribbles left-hand dribble. Over to Struzma. Struzma backs it down. Back and forth he goes. He likes that left hand. Off the mark. Tiger basketball. Forbes back in the game for Ethan Chapin. Mount Vernon Bulldogs picking up full court pressure. Isaiah Brown back into the game. Spencer Dutton back into the game as well for number 13, Kane Kress. As they pick up full court man-to-man, Ethan Forbes guarding Reisner. Reisner with the crossover dribble, blocking foul. Going to be assessed to Scotty Forbes. Ball's going to come back to the Tigers here on the near court sideline. Ball gets inbounded to Reisner. Reisner goes far court to Larson. Larson back top of the key to McGovern. To the elbow to Walker. Walker turns, looks. Back over to McGovern. McGovern turns. Back over to Walker for three. Just off the mark. Back to the Tigers again. McGovern spins and 2 shots for McGovern. That's going to be the 6th team foul for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs as we wait and see who the foul is going to be on. Fourth personal foul on Van Struesma, going to be issued to the Bulldogs. Brian McGovern at the line, shooting 2. Front end of the free throw is going to be good. Second shot up is good as well. Burlington Edison Tigers pushing their lead 63 to the Mount Vernon Bulldogs 38. Isaiah Brown pushing the tempo, gives it back up to Scotty Forbes at the top of the key with the crossover dribble. Goes into down the lane, off the mark, rebound McGovern. McGovern outlets to Reisner. Reisner looking, got Larson in the middle, skips it near court. Top of the key to McGovern. McGovern to Larson. Guarded by Struesma, who's got 4 fouls. Back to the Tigers. Larson looking for the inbounds, throws it over to Walker. Walker far side. No hurry, crossover dribble guarded by Chase Calvin. Side to side dribble, entry pass to McGovern, guarded by Scotty Forbes. Turning, and foul called on Scotty Forbes, number 4. Scotty Forbes issued his 5th personal foul. It's also going to be 7 team fouls on the Bulldogs. Brings McGovern up to the line for 1-1. McGovern up with the front end of the 1-1. It is good. Tigers extend their lead 64-38. 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in this, the final period of play. McGovern up for the second. It is good. Isaiah Brown looking down the court. Here come the Tigers. Shot is off the mark. Dutton up for it. And Bulldog basketball. Fantastic hustle play there from Dutton going up after that rebound. Back for the Tigers. Tino Ferdinand back in the game for Brian McGovern. Fantastic game by McGovern today. Ball goes inbounds. Turnover. Right back the other way come the Tigers. Handing the ball off between the point guards. Back and forth they go. Ball comes up near half court to Larson. Ball entry pass intercepted. Pushing the ball up. Van Struesma with the left-hand dribble comes into the key. And it is foul. 2 shots. That's going to be the 6th team foul on the Burlington Edison Tigers. At the line, Van Struesma. Struesma by far has gotten the most free throws today for the Bulldogs. Have done a fantastic job backing people down into the paint. Struesma is listed currently as 6'2", playing way bigger than 6'2" against an oversized Tiger team. Second shot for Struesma. It's good. Bulldogs 40, Tigers 65, currently with a 25-point lead, 5 minutes, 40 seconds remaining as the ball comes near court to Larson. Larson, ball back up top, gets it over to the elbow to Ferdinand. Ferdinand back to Larson for three. It is good. Back come the Bulldogs. Pushed up the floor by Isaiah Brown. Over to Dutton as he spins with the elbow jumper. Beautiful for two. Timeout for the Bulldogs. Roger Valentine calls it as we get the 2-point bucket. Spencer Dutton, fantastic turnaround jumper at the elbow. 30-second timeout for the Bulldogs. Second timeout taken by the Bulldogs. 68 for the Tigers, 42 for the Burlington Edison Tigers, who have really turned it on in this second half. Hotly contested match in the first half with leads as close as 4 points for the Tigers. Tigers have turned it on this second half, really thrown the gas on the fire. As we come back here, 5 minutes, 12 seconds remaining here in the fourth period of action here at the Doghouse in Mount Vernon, Washington. We want to welcome you. Thank you for joining us tonight as we just had the Bulldog Band playing for us. We are live streaming with the Mount Vernon High School YouTube Productions crew led by the amazing Tim Hornbacher. We want to thank them for having this. For those of you who are watching here as the Tigers come down the floor near court, as he dishes the pass, shot goes up, off the mark, rebound Colby Calvin. Ball goes out, led it to near court as it gets picked up, spin, top of the key, Isaiah Brown, just short, rebound to Ferdinand. Fantastic job boxing out. That is going to be 1-1 on the rebound, going to Tino Ferdinand. Chase Calvin hustling on that. Unfortunately, Ferdinand had the possession as he gets there. Front end is off the mark. Isaiah Brown's pushing the ball up the floor, looking for points as we get into the last 5 minutes of the game. Shot goes up, it's off the mark, shooting two. Number 32, Michael Larson gets his third foul. That is the 7th team foul on the visiting Tigers. Front end of this, 2 shots off the mark for Brown. Second shot for Brown, up, off the mark. Ferdinand with the board. Bulldogs going full court pressure on Ferdinand as the ball comes over to Larson. Larson looks middle, coming near court for three. Up and off the mark. Rebound goes to Calvin. Calvin looking up the floor. Swings the ball to Dutton, who comes across half court. Behind the back dribble, comes near court. Pushing the ball. That's a blocking foul. Ferdinand with the blocking foul. Going to be 1-on-1. .6'1" sophomore Liam Johnston at the line for 1-on-1. Front half of the 1-on-1 goes in for Liam Johnston. 1 shot remaining. We got 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here at Bulldog Gymnasium. 43 for the Bulldogs, 68 for the visiting Tigers, who have turned it on here in the second half. Ball gets inbound on Larson. Larson looks up the floor, crossover dribble, goes over to Ferdinand. Hustle play by Brown. Van Struisman with the steal, pushes the ball up the floor, gives it back to Johnston. Johnston looking as he goes between the legs, pulls up for three. It is good from way downtown. 47-68. Johnston between the legs, pulls up from about 35 feet and drains the three-point bucket. Full timeout for the Bulldogs. Mount Vernon Bulldogs 47, visiting Tigers from Burlington Edison 68. Want to welcome all of you who are just tuning in tonight. We are here at Bulldog Gymnasium, here at the Doghouse. for this non-league contest between the visiting Burlington Edison Tigers and the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. We are in the fourth period of play. 3 minutes and 59 seconds remaining. Burlington Edison continues with the lead at 21 points. Mount Vernon Bulldogs looking for some offensive firepower here as we move forward toward the end of the game. 4 minutes remaining. Burlington brings back in McGovern for some star power. Looks like they've returned all of their starters from originally. You got Reisner going up against Dutton. Gets the ball inbounds. Tough pass. Calvin tips the ball, goes right back to McGovern. Continuing with the full court pressure. McGovern with between the legs, side to side dribble. Caught up at half court. Comes over here to Wyatt Larson. Goes down low. Isaiah Brown says no. Logan Wright's not happy about that. Ball's going to be coming back into the Burlington Tigers. Ball comes into the top of the key with Ferdinand. Looking for some side-to-side action here. McGovern goes into the middle, kicks it over to Wyatt Walker for three. Good. Ball comes back into play. Calvin back to Brown. Brown looking down the floor. 3 minutes, 26 seconds remaining as he pushes into the key. Just shy. Ferdinand with another rebound. Ball goes back to McGovern. McGovern kicks the ball back over to the point guard. Logan Wright passes it far side to Wyatt Walker. Ball fake, backdoor cut. Comes back up to the top of the key here for Reisner. Reisner having a fantastic game. Hasn't played much here in the fourth quarter because of substantial lead. Still the leader of this team. Ball goes back down low, back over to Walker in the exact same spot. Up and foul. That'll be 3 shots on the play. Van Struzma, that'll be his 5th foul on the game. Ethan Chapin, the 6'4" sophomore from Mount Vernon, steps in the game for Van Struzma as he gets his 5th foul of the game. That is the 9th team foul for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs as we have Wyatt Walker shooting 3. First of 3 goes off the mark. Second free throw also off the mark. Mount Vernon Bulldogs have 47 points. Burlington Edison Tigers have 71 as we move here within 3 minutes of the end of regulation. Wyatt Walker's 3rd is up and in. Burlington Edison once again bringing in substitution here. Jackson Reisner most likely done for the rest of the evening. Going to be subbed in for number 14, a 5'11" senior Connor Nelson. Isaiah Brown down the middle of the lane for 2. Ball's back in. Comes over here to Connor Nelson. Brings the ball down the floor. Up past half court. Wide open McGovern. McGovern dishes it to Ferdinand. And he is up and in. 2 points for Ferdinand. Back Brown comes. 2 minutes, 25 seconds remaining. Going against Connor Nelson. Connor Nelson reaches in, tips the ball out of bounds. Bulldog basketball. Bulldogs looking to throw the ball inbounds. McGovern going after the ball against Chapin. Chapin with the right-hand dribble coming into heads-up play by Logan Wright as he comes into the middle of the key. Dishes it back to McGovern, and 1. Brian McGovern on the play. Count that bucket at the line for 1. Number 21, Chase Calvin, issued his 4th personal foul, 10th team foul on the Bulldogs as Brian McGovern steps to the line looking for the 3-point play. McGovern's shot up for the 3-point play. Burlington Edison Tigers 77, Mount Vernon Bulldogs 49. Ball comes inbounds to Brown. Connor Nelson picking him up at half court. Side to side between the legs for Isaiah Brown. Right hand dribble, blocking foul, Connor Nelson. That's going to be the 9th team foul. We're going to go to the free throw line, the charity stripe for 1-and-1. Substitutions in for the Burlington Edison Tigers. Number 21, Logan Wright, leaves the game. Tino Ferdinand also, and Wyatt Walker. Those three have had a fantastic game for the visiting Tigers. Referee coming here to the Tigers sideline, get some clarification, and we're back at it. 1-and-1 for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Sophomore point guard, Isaiah Brown. Up and in. 50-77. Back at it for the second half of the 1-and-1 is good as well for Isaiah Brown. Ball gets inbounds to Larson. Larson kicks the ball back over to DJ Clark. Behind the back dribble. Bulldogs full court pressure. Kress gets a hand on the pass, goes right back to, and the 10-second call. First one of the game for the Bulldogs with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. Fantastic heads up, working hard by the Mount Vernon Bulldogs team. Isaiah Brown bringing the ball back in, looking for the pass. Kress gets the ball here on the near court, right side. Entry pass is deflected by Larson, who then comes and gets it, and foul. That's going to be 2 shots for the 6-foot junior Kane Kress. Michael Larson, the 6'4" senior, has had a fantastic game. That is going to be his 4th foul as Kress sinks the first 1-on-1 free throw. Second half of the 1-on-1 is going to be good as it's 53 to the Tigers, 77 points. Ball gets inbounded to the Burlington Edison Tigers as the Bulldogs continue to put pressure on. Looking for that 10-second count. Got to be close. Ball gets across half court with the pressure. Up they go. It's going to be Bulldog basketball. That's defense, folks. That's what I'm talking about. Ball gets inbounded to Brown. Brown surveys the court with the right-hand dribble. Comes across the top of the key. Looking to use a screen from Chapin. Picks up his dribble. Goes to Dutton. Dutton down to Kress. Cuts through. Hesitation dribble by Kress. Connor Nelson. Fantastic defense. Isaiah Brown, 1 dribble, pull up for 3, off the mark. Larson with the rebound, turn, outlet. Nelson pushes up the floor, turns his back at the top of the key, brings it back near court to Larson. Larson brings the ball back over to Altenhofen, back up to Nelson. Jaden Wolf in the game, looks low, and goes to Altenhofen for 2. Bulldogs push the ball up the floor. Isaiah Brown comes near court. 3-pointer off the mark. Chapin with the offensive board and the bucket. Fantastic hustle play right there, Mr. Chapin. 6'4" sophomore. We're coming back down the floor. Tigers up and right over the Bulldog defender, who is looking to come the other direction. Isaiah Brown comes into the middle of the key. Turnover, 25 seconds remaining. Back to the Tigers, slowing the ball down. Easy, Bulldogs. 18 seconds to go. It's going to be 2 shots. Foul's going to be on the Bulldogs. Kane Kress, the 6-foot junior, at the charity stripe for the Tigers. Number 44, Jaden Wolf, the 6'4" senior, misses the first half of the double bonus. Second shot also up and off the mark. Isaiah Brown pushing the ball up the floor, all the way down the floor, and it is off the mark for Isaiah Brown. Rebound to the Tigers. Ball's going to be dribbled around here to end the game by Jaden Wolf. Looking for the 10-second count. Larson gets the ball. And that is the ball game, folks. Here at the Doghouse, Burlington Edison Tigers comes in and steals the victory. 81 to the Bulldogs, 55. For all of you who have joined us via Mount Vernon High School YouTube Productions, we want to thank you. Have a good evening, and go Bulldogs.